I love the web. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I think I always have from the first time I used them. I remember when we went from this to this almost overnight. When CSS2 became a recommendation in May 1998, I was thrilled. I thought that was incredibly awesome. But the first draft of CSS3 was published in August 1999, only 3 months later. They already knew that you would need more than CSS2. So on the lists, W3C public lists, good ideas began rolling. Lots of ideas. Some really great ideas. Powerful ideas like has and friend. The ability to style something that has something else, not the things themselves. The ability to style a label associated with an input field that currently has the focus. These are great ideas. Where are they? For the next 13 years, virtually nothing seems to have happened, in the sense that we couldn't seem to get out of CSS2. It took from 1997's first public draft until 2011, when we finally got a specification that is locked in, final, done. It seems that we had too many problems trying to get CSS2 finalized along the way. It held everything else up. CSS selectors level 3 became a recommendation in 2011. Once again, I thought, awesome. But a lot of the really good ideas got postponed. In the meantime, that means our work is more painful. It means that in order to find things in the tree, I either have to litter my HTML with classes that really would not be there otherwise, or I have to use JavaScript to accomplish something that really belongs in CSS. Last year, they began work on the first draft of Selectors Level 4. Wow, my hopes are raised again. But we still can't use them. They're not there today. Who knows how long they'll take to get out. Even if everything was in there, 13 years ago, there were proposals made, like has and friend, that didn't quite make the cut into CSS Selectors 4. So in the meantime, our work will continue to be more painful. There are really good reasons for this. I'm not trying to trivialize it. But I can't wait anymore. Hitch changes the model. Currently, the model works like this. A browser comes up with an idea. They implement it. It's marked experimental and vendor prefixed. Mozilla is -moz. There's -webkit, -o, -ms. They create something. They put it out there. People use it, try it. They write up a draft. They submit it to W3C. Maybe, we hope. Other browsers start to copy it. As soon as people start to use it, the browsers are really hesitant to change things. But the W3C is usually really hesitant to pass something that's just the brainchild and implementation of one browser, as are other browsers. We change the model by not locking you to a browser. Innovation happens outside of the browser. It's innovation by competition, not committee. We let standards bodies and browsers do what they're good at. So we add a script to our page. Add a hitch interpret flag to some link or style tag. And voila! You gain wild new expressive powers in that sheet. Remember has? Use it now. Don't wait a year, 2 years, 6 months, 15 years. Who knows? Use it now. We also add, right out of the box, 4 major logical constructs. Any of, all of, one of, none of. If you're familiar with logic gates, that's essentially what they are. They let you do wildly powerful things. Like say that you want to style anything that's on sale that's a car that's 4 cylinders or a truck that's 8 cylinders. Or things like this. A car that is either cheap or small, but not both. If those aren't enough for you, no problem. Check out the Hitch repository and find more. This is where things get really interesting. On here, there's a bunch of links. Click read the docs and you'll be taken to some other documentation about some other feature. All of these are versioned. This is version 1 of the math pseudoclass filters. Once you find one that you like, we include a @hitch-requires rule with the URL, and voila, we can just start using it. Still not enough? Have a new great idea that's not in there? No problem. This is designed similar to the jQuery plugin model. It's very, very easy to add new selectors. In fact, here's the actual code behind the math greater than selector. Go ahead and develop one. Use it. If you think it's great, submit it back. We'll put it in the repository. But wait, there's still more. Hitch allows you to define constants, essentially tokens which stand for something else and get replaced. Do you ever notice that in jQuery you can write button, whereas in CSS you have to write button, comma, input type equals button? That is lame. The majority of jQuery's built-in selector extensions are just shortcuts. I've seen so many people include jQuery, substantial library, just to get this sugar. And this sugar takes it out of CSS. That's silly. So we let you define constants. You can define, say, a button or a header, and then just use them right in your CSS as you would. One thing that we do with this, right out of the box, we fix the experimental strategy. You're not supposed to be using those. They're experimental. But if you choose to be one of the people who uses something experimental, if you think it's very, very similar implemented in every browser, they're not going to change it. I think it's stable. I'm willing to take responsibility. If that point, if you choose to use it, that's fine. But why write all of those prefix versions? That is crazy. Just use hitch beta const, which is automatically set to the appropriate prefix for whatever browser you have. This rule, if you were looking at this in Firefox, let's say, that hitch beta transition would change to -moz transition. The hitch beta transition duration, moz transition duration. There's even more, but this could take forever to go through everything. You have to go read about it online. Go to www.hitchjs, look around and explore. Just one more thing. Widgets. The exact same pattern and engine actually allow us to create widgets via microformats. We add just one rule that has to do with data-hitch widget, and it lets you plug in widgets. How cool is that? You want to learn about that? Go back to the site, look around, www.hitchjs.com.